New York City has successfully managed to get its coronavirus infection rate down to just 1%. And now they're asking Tim Apple to help them keep it that way.
New York City's transit agency is asking Apple to help slow the spread of the coronavirus on subways and buses. So the agency wants the high-tech giant to create a face ID that works with face masks. The goal is to let people unlock their iPhones without having to remove their masks. New York State requires masks on public transportation, but the agency says people are violating the rule to access their phones.
You know, sometimes I think technology is the greatest thing that ever happened to humans. And sometimes I think it's just going to set us back. Because instead of just typing in the 4-digit passcode, people are taking off their masks so that the phone can see their face, which to me seems like more work. Honestly, at this point, I'm just surprised people's phones still recognize them. I mean, this is what I looked like pre-quarantine, and this is me now. Look at me. I look like my own evil nappy twin. And by the way, people, why are you staring at your phone while you're in the subway? That is dangerous. You gotta stay alert. You never know who's gonna come onto the train and steal your belongings. Or your heart. By the way, if you're a beautiful woman with brown hair who was on the E train at 5:30 p.m. yesterday, give me my stuff back! I know it was you! Now, beyond the Fresh Prince, QAnon, and MTA, there's one major story that's got everyone buzzing. Kamala Harris, vice presidential candidate, and woman Joe Biden is going to call homegirl in less than 3 weeks. After it was announced that she would be Biden's running mate, many people were celebrating the historic milestone of having a black and South Asian woman on a major party ticket. Although, as you might expect, President Trump had a slightly different take.
Reaction was quick at the White House, where President Trump used his daily coronavirus briefing to bash Biden's choice.
She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh then, now Justice Kavanaugh. I thought she was the meanest, the most horrible, most disrespectful of anybody in the U.S. Senate.
Despite claiming he wanted Biden to pick Harris, President Trump says he's surprised Biden actually did after that heated primary debate.
She was probably nastier than even Pocahontas to Joe Biden. She was very disrespectful to Joe Biden. She said things during the debates, during the Democrat primary debates, that were horrible about Sleepy Joe. And I would think that he wouldn't have picked.
Yeah, she was so horrible to Sleepy Joe. And that loser deserves so much more respect than that.
Like, is Trump attacking or defending Joe Biden? I can't tell. You know, I thought this election would be Trump versus Joe Biden. Now I think we could just lock Trump in a room and let him hash it out by himself.
What did me say to me? Me heard me.
I mean, of all people, Donald Trump should totally understand how you can be with a woman who's publicly humiliated you. He also shouldn't be surprised that past enemies can become your friends. I mean, look who he's been working with. Ted Cruz, who called him a pathological liar and a narcissist. Lindsey Graham, who said he was a bigot and a nutjob who was destroying the Republican Party. Marco Rubio, who called him a con artist and said he had a small dick. And of course, Jared Kushner, who selfishly married the love of Trump's life. That's right, man. We ain't never gonna forget. If anything, Kamala Harris on the ticket with Joe Biden is a genius move by the former VP. Because not only does she tick a bunch of boxes, but clearly conservatives are gonna struggle to put her in one.
Joe Biden is running on the most radical platform of any candidate from any major party in U.S. history. Now with the most radical running mate ever.
She doesn't really have core beliefs.
Her record as Attorney General is absolutely abysmal by fighting to keep inmates locked up in overcrowded prisons.
As a prosecutor in San Francisco, she allowed, well, scores of violent criminals to walk free.
Did you know that Kamala Harris has a higher rating from the Police Association in 2019 than from the ACLU?
She is soft on crime. She is no friend of the police.
Harris clearly wasn't picked for her personal charm.
She's very telegenic. I get that. The media will say she's very hip.
I think that the pick was somewhat surprising.
I think it was a kind of a boring pick. I think everybody was expecting Biden to pick Kamala.
Oh, man. Poor Republicans. They're so confused. Kamala is like their version of that green needle brainstorm meme. Honestly, it's kind of cute watching Republicans flail around, trying to figure out the right talking points. You know, it's like when a litter of puppies is born, but they haven't opened their eyes yet.